Horses are one of the most studied animals on the planet, and yet there are behaviors that almost every horse does regularly that most riders have never had properly explained to them. Not the big dramatic ones. Those get covered. Rearing, bucking, bolting. Everyone has an opinion on those. I am talking about the quieter behaviors, the ones that happen during grooming and at rest and during ordinary handling, the ones that riders notice and then file away as just something my horse does. Some of them are purely fascinating, some of them are health signals you need to understand, and a few of them reveal something about what your horse is feeling that most people go their entire riding career without ever knowing. Today I am going to break down 9 horse behaviors that almost nobody properly explains, what is happening inside the horse when they do each one, and what your response should be. Behavior 1. The Flehmen response. Your horse suddenly curls their upper lip back. Their head goes up. Their nose stretches toward the sky. Their nostrils close. They hold this position for several seconds, looking like they have just encountered the worst smell in the history of the world. Then they lower their head and go back to what they were doing. This is called the Flehmen response, and it is not what it looks like. Horses have 2 systems for processing smell. Their nostrils handle the majority of everyday scent detection. But there is a second organ called the vomeronasal organ or Jacobson's organ located in the roof of the mouth. This organ is specialized for analyzing chemical signals, particularly the pheromones that carry reproductive and social information. When a horse curls their upper lip and lifts their head, they are trapping scent particles and channeling them directly into this specialized organ. The lip curl closes off the nostrils temporarily, so the scent cannot escape before the vomeronasal organ has fully analyzed it. Stallions do this most dramatically and most frequently. They are reading the reproductive status of mares in their environment, but geldings and mares also do it. Any strong or unusual scent can trigger it, a new medication, another horse's urine, an unfamiliar plant, sometimes the scent of something that has been brought onto the yard from outside. It is completely involuntary and completely normal. The horse is not being silly. They are using a sensory system that humans do not even have. Behavior 2. Yawning repeatedly. Your horse opens their jaw wide in an exaggerated gape. Their tongue sometimes comes out slightly. They hold it for a moment and then close, then do it again a few minutes later. Yawning in horses means something different from what it means in humans. In horses, yawning is primarily a stress release mechanism. It is associated with the transition from a state of heightened arousal or tension back toward calm. The same nervous system shift that produces licking and chewing produces yawning. They are all expressions of the parasympathetic nervous system reasserting control after a period of activation. You will often see a horse yawn at the end of a training session, after a vet visit, after a farrier appointment, after any situation that required sustained physical or mental effort. The yawn is the body saying the demand has passed. We can relax now. There is also a dental component worth knowing about. Horses that yawn frequently throughout the day and not just after periods of activity can sometimes be experiencing discomfort in their jaw or teeth. The temporomandibular joint in horses can become stiff or uncomfortable, and repeated yawning may be the horse attempting to stretch and relieve that discomfort. If your horse yawns occasionally and mainly after work, it is normal and positive. If your horse yawns repeatedly at random throughout the day with no obvious preceding activity, it is worth having their teeth and jaw evaluated by an equine vet or dentist. Behavior 3. Sighing during grooming. You are grooming your horse, moving the brush along their coat, working through their mane or along their back, and they let out a long, slow breath. Not a snort, not through the nostrils sharply. A genuine exhale. A sigh that seems to come from somewhere deep. This is one of the most meaningful things that can happen during a grooming session, and most riders completely miss it. The sigh in horses is a parasympathetic nervous system response. It signals the body releasing physical tension. The same mechanism that causes humans to sigh when they finally sit down after a long day is operating here. What triggers it during grooming is the combination of your touch and your presence being registered as safe. The horse's nervous system has been running at some level of background alertness, and your handling has communicated enough safety that the body releases what it was holding. Julie Goodnight, who has documented equine body language extensively, describes the sigh during handling as one of the clearest indicators that a horse is genuinely relaxing in response to you specifically. Not just standing still, not just tolerating the handling, actually releasing tension because of it. The sigh is different from a snort. A snort is air through the nostrils. It can mean many things, including clearing the airway and expressing alertness. The sigh is air through the mouth, long, slow, sometimes accompanied by a slight lowering of the head and a softening of the muscles around the eyes. When you hear that sigh, keep doing exactly what you were doing. You found something that works. Behavior 4. Cribbing and windsucking. This one is not a sign of happiness. It is one of the most important behavioral health signals a horse owner needs to understand. Cribbing is when a horse grabs onto a fixed surface with their top teeth, a fence post, a stable door, a feed bucket. They arch their neck and pull backward while gulping air in. The action makes a characteristic grunting sound. Some horses do this dozens or hundreds of times per day. Windsucking is the same behavior without the grabbing onto a surface. The horse arches their neck and sucks air in without making contact with anything. These behaviors are classified as stereotypies, repetitive behaviors that develop as responses to chronic stress or inadequate environmental conditions. Once established, they are almost impossible to eliminate because they trigger the release of endorphins in the horse's brain. The behavior becomes self-reinforcing. The horse cribs because cribbing makes them feel better chemically, not because they are misbehaving. The conditions most strongly associated with the development of cribbing are high-grain diets with insufficient forage, extended periods of stall confinement without social contact or turnout, weaning at too young an age, and chronic stress with no outlet. A horse that develops cribbing is a horse that has been trying to manage a difficult situation with the tools available to them. From a health perspective, cribbing is associated with increased risk of certain types of colic. It accelerates wear on the upper incisors, and the repetitive muscle use can cause overdevelopment of the neck muscles on one side. If your horse is cribbing or windsucking, the question to ask is not how do I stop this behavior? The question is what in this horse's life created enough stress to make this necessary? More turnout, more social interaction, more forage, less confinement. These environmental changes matter far more than any collar or device designed to physically prevent the behavior. Behavior 5. Head tossing. During ridden work, you are riding and your horse begins throwing their head upward repeatedly, or pulling their chin toward their chest, or swinging their head from side to side in a rhythmic, frustrated movement. Head tossing during ridden work is almost always pain. I want to be direct about this because it is a behavior that gets misattributed to attitude or evasion constantly. Riders are told their horse is being naughty, they are given firmer contact, stronger bits, draw reins, and all of this does is ask the horse to suppress the expression of discomfort while the cause continues unaddressed. The most common causes of head tossing are dental pain from sharp points or wolf teeth that make bit contact uncomfortable, ill-fitting bit that sits in the wrong position or applies pressure in the wrong place, ill-fitting saddle that pinches the shoulders and causes referred pain, tension in the pole or the neck from muscular issues, and gastric ulcers which cause referred discomfort that many horses express through head behavior. The way to determine which cause you are dealing with is elimination. Start with teeth, have an equine dentist check, then bit fit, then saddle fit. Then a vet evaluation for ulcers if all other causes have been ruled out. A horse that was going happily and then develops head tossing has not suddenly decided to be difficult. Something has changed in their body or their equipment, finding that something is the only path to resolving it. Behavior 6. Pawing at the ground in the stable. Your horse is in their stable and they begin pawing. The front hoof comes up and comes down against the floor repeatedly. As we discussed in the previous video, pawing has multiple causes. Boredom, impatience at feeding time, frustration at confinement. But when pawing happens in the stable combined with other specific behaviors, it becomes something more urgent. A horse that paws at the ground and then looks back at their flank is displaying a pain response. A horse that paws and then attempts to lie down and get back up repeatedly. A horse that paws and then stretches out in an unusual way as if trying to relieve pressure in their abdomen. These combinations are classic early signs of colic. Colic is not one condition. It is an umbrella term for any abdominal pain in horses. Some colic resolves quickly on its own. Some forms are life-threatening within hours. The standard recommendation from equine vets is this. If your horse is pawing at the ground and you also see them looking at their flank or attempting to roll or lying down more than usual or showing no interest in food, then the safest choice is to call your vet immediately. Do not wait to see if it resolves. The cost of a vet call that turns out to be unnecessary is small. The cost of waiting too long on a serious colic is not. Behavior 7. Leaning into you. During grooming. Your horse does not pull away during grooming. They do not simply stand still, they actively lean their body weight toward you, into the brush, into your hand, into whatever you are doing. This is a trust behavior with a specific trigger. Horses engage in mutual grooming with other horses they are bonded to. They stand side by side and use their teeth and lips to work along each other's necks and withers and backs. The pressure of mutual grooming releases endorphins. It is pleasurable, it is social, and it is reserved for horses they genuinely like. When your horse leans into your grooming, it means your touch is triggering something similar to what mutual grooming produces. It means the area you are working is a good spot, it means they want more pressure in that direction, and it means they have connected you with the kind of positive physical contact they would normally only accept from another horse they trust. Some horses lean so hard during particularly good spots that they almost push you over. This is not them being unaware of their size, it is them communicating with the same directness they would use with another horse. Push into the thing that feels good. Make it clear that you want more of it. Behavior 8. Nickering when they hear your specific footstep. We covered this in the previous video as a trust signal, but the science behind it is worth going deeper on. Horses are extremely sensitive to auditory patterns. Their hearing range extends above and below human hearing, and they are capable of distinguishing between individual humans based on the sound of their footsteps alone. Research has demonstrated that horses can recognize specific humans by voice, by facial expression, And by gait, they build individual profiles of the people in their lives, and they have emotional responses to those profiles that are measurable. A horse that nickers when they hear your footstep before you are visible has not just learned that footsteps mean food. A horse that nickers for any footstep is motivated by food. A horse that nickers specifically for yours and falls silent when someone else walks by has identified you as an individual who produces a positive emotional response. The nicker itself is a sound horses make to members of their closest social group, to their foal, to a bonded herdmate, to a companion they are genuinely glad to see. When that sound is directed at you based on the sound of your walk, you are in the closest social category your horse has, not the food delivery category. The I am glad you are here category. Behavior 9. Standing quietly with their shoulder touching yours. This is the last behavior on the list, and it is easy to overlook because it is so gentle. Your horse is standing beside you, not because you have positioned them there, not because there is nowhere else to go, but because they have moved themselves so that their shoulder or their side is resting lightly against you. They are not moving, they are not asking for anything, they are just there, in contact with you. Quietly. In horse social dynamics, physical contact between bonded animals is meaningful. Horses who trust each other stand in close proximity and often in contact. They share body warmth, they breathe together, they rest in the kind of relaxed alertness that comes from being beside someone you trust to help you stay safe. When a horse chooses to stand in contact with you, they are including you in that equation. You have become part of their physical safety calculation. Your presence beside them produces the same settling effect as another trusted horse. The contact does not need to be dramatic. A shoulder resting lightly against yours, a side pressing gently into your hand as you stand beside them, a head placed quietly on your shoulder. The pressure is light, the meaning is not. That is a horse that has fully decided you are part of their world, not just something that happens to them, something that belongs there. 9 behaviors, 9 explanations. The Flehmen response as their second olfactory system working. Yawning as stress release and occasionally a dental signal. Sighing during grooming as genuine tension release in response to you specifically. Cribbing and windsucking as stereotypies born from environmental stress. Head tossing during ridden work as almost always a pain communication. Pawing in the stable combined with other signs as a potential colic warning. Leaning into grooming as mutual grooming behavior extended to you. The footstep nicker as individual recognition and positive emotional response. And standing with their shoulder against yours as full physical inclusion in their trust circle. Your horse is communicating everything they feel and need every single day. The more of this language you understand, the better partner you become. I will see you in the next one.